Siphelele Sibiya, better known as Popi, is a digital content creator. The local traveler is set out on a journey to travel the world by road. Well, she's been to Namibia, the Congo, Angola, Brazil, Argentina, and she was once stuck in Gabon during a coup d'etat. Now, what's shocking for many South Africans glued to her travel vlogs shared on TikTok and Instagram is her calm demeanor during all these situations. Well, this morning we are in conversation with a young creative. Popi, a very good morning. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Morning, Siphelele. Thank you so much for having me.
You know, off camera, Liesl just asked me if I would just pack up and go and travel the world for 6 months. And I said, by all means, I'll definitely do that. Because, you know, traveling the world, you know, it opens your eyes to so many things. You have quite a different perspective on the world and how you live in it. Firstly, I mean, you're probably one of the bravest human alive to travel the world by road. Do you ever second guess any of your decisions?
Not at all. In fact, the more dangerous an adventure is, the more I am in, the more
Really?
I just want to do it. Yes, I enjoy a challenge. And that's actually why I started the Poppy Show. It's because I was bored out of my mind. And I was like, what can I do with my life? And I thought, let me put myself in some danger, go out there into the world and explore.
And, you know, you went to Gabon during the elections and all the shops and restaurants were closed. And, you know, so many people were so worried about your safety. Was that intentional or it was just a coincidence that really thrilled you?
It was an absolute coincidence. So I was in Gabon around the time of the elections. And back then I wasn't really clued up on current affairs. So I didn't understand how Gabon conducts its elections.
Yeah.
I later found out that around election time, they close all borders because, you know, they had a guy who had been running for like generations and they were tired of him. So around election time, they would close borders. I wasn't aware of this. So I was in Gabon trying to get a visa into Cameroon. So as I was waiting for my visa, elections rolled around. By the time I got my visa, the border had already been closed. We waited for election results for a few days. And then the coup was announced while I was still there waiting for borders to open.
Sure. Let's talk about the first country you went to and how this traveling experience grew on you.
Ooh, the first country I went to was, I think, Lesotho, outside of South Africa. Yeah.
Okay.
Lesotho. I had a new car that I just wanted to drive around and test out. And Lesotho seemed pretty close by and affordable. So yeah, that was my first ever solo road trip outside of South Africa.
And you obviously share how much each trip costs. I mean, you and your friends easily make wherever you go. Let's talk about some of the friendliest countries you've been to.
Nigeria by far is the friendliest country I've ever been to. Nigerian people are so hospitable and kind. But I think the world is generally a kind place. But I think Africa takes the cup. Africans are very kind, hospitable, and I always have a good time. When I'm in Africa, the best time, and I always get help. So whatever I need help with, I actually don't even ask when I'm in Africa. Things just fall into place. So I really enjoy it.
What about some of the food that you ate? Did it leave a bitter taste in your mouth in all the countries you've traveled to?
Look, I saw some weird dishes, weird to me, in Peru. I didn't touch them. I'm not an adventurous eater. Like, I'll do adventurous things with my body, you know. But when it comes to my stomach, no. So I really enjoy Central African food, though. I like plantain. I like pondu, which is a cassava leaf dish. But yeah, sometimes the food isn't good. It's not always, it's actually mostly not good than it is good. To me, anyway.
And then how do you survive if the food is not good? Say you are there for 7 days.
I literally just go hungry. I remember yes, literally like this other family hosted me and I wasn't enjoying the food. And I had a bit of cassava every day. And I was so hungry and it was a remote village. It's not good. Yeah, I just can't bring myself to try everything. I just can't.
And the rituals that you take part in, are those for real? I mean, you even went to a witch camp in Ghana. Really, Poppy?
Yes. Oh.
What happens there?
The show is real. Everything that happens on the show is real. So when I was in Ghana, a friend suggested I go to the witch camps in northern Ghana.
Yeah.
So what happens there is that in Ghana, they still believe in witchcraft. And so usually old women are still accused to this day of witchcraft. And so they have to flee their villages and go find refuge in in witch camps. So I went to one in a small town called Gambaga. And yeah, I visited. It was just like a village, a gated community, but with huts.
Tell me
And
something,
yeah,
when you say they
that's where
believe
they
in
live.
witchcraft, do they openly talk about it? Because, when it comes to witchcraft, people are so conservative when it comes to that.
Well, they believe in it in the sense that they believe that others are bewitching them. So that's what I mean when they say they still believe in witchcraft. Not that they practice it openly and talk about it and boast about it. Just that neighbors still believe that neighbors are bewitching them. And they will often accuse neighbors of bewitching them. And that puts the accused's life in danger. So they have to flee to what they call now a witch camp, which is just a place of refuge where those who are accused of bewitching others are then taken care of under protection.
I did mention earlier on that the more you travel, the more your views about the world become broad-based. I mean, you have a different perspective on life, on each and every country that you've been to. So what is that one thing that you appreciate about South Africa when you're busy traveling the world?
I think for the most part, I appreciate the infrastructure. South Africa is one of the best country compared to the
Yep.
countries I've traveled to.
For
We
sure.
really have a good infrastructure here in terms of network, just cell phone coverage, simple things. Our roads are quite good. Clean water, in some parts of South Africa, you can still drink tap water, which is impossible in other countries.
Yeah.
So I think our infrastructure, as much as we complain and, it's not perfect, we could always do better. But I still think that we have good infrastructure in this country. And it's possible to move from point A to point B in this country safely and efficiently.
And I know you're working on season 5. Where are you going to next?
I actually can't decide. Literally
Okay.
last night, I was on my Instagram stories and I was like, guys, I don't know. Should I do? So I had initially planned to do South Africa. And I wanted to
Okay.
do like a homecoming season, explore my own country, my interpretation of my country. But I'm more of a Central African girly. I really enjoy Central Africa. And I have enough resources now that I could do a deep dive and show us Central Africa. Actually, Simpiwe, can you advise me? Like, where do you think I should go? South Africa or Central Africa?
I think it's a bit of
What
both.
would you like to see?
I think
What
it's a
would
bit of
you
both.
like
I
to
mean,
see most?
for the multitudes of your followers, they're quite enthralled by the content that you see on TikTok. And I know that so many South Africans still don't know South Africa. Some,
Okay.
find it difficult to move beyond their province, beyond Gauteng. They don't know. So the more you share about South Africa, the better. And yeah, of
Okay.
course, even other African countries as well. And before I let you go, did the boyfriend prayer by a Shama in Amazon work for you? Just take us through that.
Not at all. I'm even going to a wedding today and I'm hoping maybe there things will get romantic. But no, it did not work at all. Maybe I'm the problem.
Popi, can I ask you something? Do you get funders
Yes.
for your trip? Because I know for so many South Africans, traveling is an absolute dream. Some don't even have passports, and because it's so unaffordable. Do you have someone who funds you in all your escapades?
So how I fund my travels is that I charge a subscription fee on Instagram. So the Poppy show that you see on my TikTok reels and Instagram reels, those are just trailers. So the real
Okay.
show, the full episodes of the show happen exclusively on my Instagram close friends. So I have my audience subscribes. They pay a subscription fee to watch the full show. And then also sometimes I partner with brands. So I have brand deals, paid partnerships with brands. But
Okay.
outside of that, no funding at all.
Okay. I've got so many ideas. I'm gonna share on your platform, eh?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, Poppy, lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us, eh?
Thank you for having me.
Good stuff. That is digital content creator Siphelele Sibiya, who's known for her traveling content. And she travels the world. She captures some of the most interesting and unseen aspects of some of her destinations.